What's up, guys? Welcome to the Friday bonus edition episode where we dive deeper into some of the stories over the week and we also just kick back, relax. You ask me some weird questions or some serious questions and we dive deep. And I just go over some of the things of the week. I'm drinking 9-year small batch bourbon from Costco. I'm cheap. I'm a cheap date. I don't have that kind of money. I was looking at getting some Angel's Envy or something for my birthday, but that's my favorite bourbon. If you want to throw me some Angel's Envy for my birthday, do it. You guys would be amazing. Probably won't happen, but I don't care. It's Friday. We made it through the week. You made it through the week. What a weird week, right? This has been a weird week. It's been a little crazy. It's been a little hectic. Let's start off with some of the easier questions before we dive deeper into the week. Let's go. Okay, what was the worst phase in your life? Oh, that is a weird question, but I like it. Worst phase of my life is easily middle school. I hated middle school. I got picked on. I got bullied. A racist bullied me. Made fun of me for being white all my life. Through middle school, I got picked on for being white. I got called a cracker, and I got called a gringo, and I was thrown rocks at for being... I was just picked on a lot, and I hated middle school. A little sip. I'm also drinking a little Topo Chico. Love Topo Chico. I was just picked on a lot. Middle school was the worst for me, and that's why I work with middle school students right now, because I feel like it's my way of like redeeming my childhood in a sense. I guess it's my way of helping, because I know for most middle school students, it's some of the worst times in your life. You're going through a lot of changes in your body, but there's also just, people are having a testosterone for the first time. So aggression's there. And so bullies are more prevalent and real. And even though at my school, there's not a lot of fights that I work at, it's a different kind of bullying. It's like social media and, more subtle bullying. But yeah. And I think so middle school was just a bad time for my life. I don't know about you guys. Was middle school terrible for you? I literally have never met anyone in my life who looks at their middle school time, their middle school experience as a joyful experience, as a time to relax, get back, and just learn about school and get better about taking state testing. I hated middle school. What was the worst time in your life? What was your favorite pastime as a young child? My favorite pastime as a young child was, I don't know. I kind of miss playing sports. I miss playing sports in my youth, just like coming home from school and getting ready to go to baseball practice or basketball or football. I did like playing football, but I really liked playing basketball. And I don't know why I stopped playing basketball so much, because I think I was just told you're never going to make it, okay? It's not a good sport for you, okay? You're going to grow up to be about 5'11", not very tall, not good enough for the NBAs, okay? Excuse me. So, I don't know. My favorite pastime, it was just playing sports with the kids. I loved hanging out with friends, and I feel like when I've done like sport activities with adults my age, and it's just a whole different dimension. There's like guys that are just still feel like they're in their prime and they're like taking it so serious and they're like trying to win the championship, and you're like, dude, you're 45 years old. You need to focus on maybe your family and just enjoy this time as a way of an escape, and maybe for endorphins or a workout. And I don't know, the guys that I play with, I play soccer and I would like to get into some baseball, but like it's just so serious. And I can't take middle-aged men and women playing sports in their 30s, 40s, and 50s seriously. I just can't do it. You're trying to live your pastime. But I'm not judging you if you do it, okay? Just relax. But I enjoy it, and I miss that about my pastime. I miss about having friends over and sleepovers. You can't really do that as an adult anymore. A good sleepover, like, hey dude, you want to come over and just like spend a night in my house, bro? And you don't have that anymore, and it's sad. Just a sad time in our life. Anyways, that was definitely my favorite pastimes. Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? Great question. What do you guys think I am? So, I think this question is always weird to me because I would say I'm both. I'm very extroverted at work or in large group settings where I don't know anyone. Like if I go into a party, if I go to a party and everyone knows each other, but they don't know me, and I only know one person. I love that dynamic because I can be whoever I want and be silly and make people laugh and just be like, when I leave, people go, "Who was that guy?" I don't know. I like when I go to work, I like making people laugh and just being loud and obnoxious, and sometimes on this podcast, obviously, but also. I get so drained by that sometimes that I want to come home and just be in solitude and just, play some video games or just read a book or just like read the news or watch TV or especially watch a movie by myself at home. I don't know why I enjoy doing that. Do you like doing that? But I like watching a movie by myself and just thinking about life. So I think I'm both. I get really introverted when I'm around people that all know me well sometimes, and I just feel uncomfortable talking. I don't know sometimes, but what about you? Do you feel like you're both? Because I just feel like sometimes when I take like disc tests or personality tests, you feel like you have to be this certain personality that that the test tells you are, and I always look at those tests thinking like, yeah, I'm that person right now, but in a couple hours when I'm around other people or have a bourbon or like I might be a different person. So like I think those tests are great, but I also think they're stupid because I just feel like we as human beings evolved to and kind of are just become certain personalities around certain different people in certain different cultures where you feel comfortable or you just feel like you're out of touch or something like that. So I think you are who you are based on how comfortable you are in that situation. So I don't know if that answers your question. Are you into more looks or brains? Oh, God. Yes. I'm married, hello, but I also I don't know. I dated people who were one or the other, and I needed both. That is so aggressive. I'm sorry I said that. I would take brains over looks because when you get older, you get uglier. No, I would take because I think that looks are great and they're fun to look at because they're looks, but there's something about brains and just being, your mind being spurred on to learn and want to know that person more and engage in interesting conversations. I'm drinking a tapioca and I wonder on the green screen if it's invisible. I hope it is. Yes, brains are more. So if you're looking at dating, I don't know if this question was like, what should I be looking more at? I would say look for a little of both. You want to have a little looks, but you also you want to be interested in them physically. But if you don't have a connection, mentally, spiritually, physically, that marriage, that relationship is gonna suck. I've seen there's too many relationships I see that you can tell it's based on looks. And you can tell they're not happy because they're just bored, and the person they're with are boring, and they don't mesh emotionally, and it's hard to watch. Honestly, I just as somebody who I feel like I'm in a good relationship where I can like have conversations and talk and grow deeper in conversation with each other, and I just feel like with relationships that are just like. They just look bored. And then you can tell that they're each one of them is like, I need to go golfing. I need to get out of this house. It's so boring. Do you have a favorite artist or author? Favorite author? C.S. Lewis. Love C.S. Lewis. I love the Chronicles of Narnia. Don't judge me. C.S. Lewis once said that children's books are not written for children. And that is the most profound quote that has stuck with me my entire life. And I think the simple truths are what we need to lean on as, ooh, this might be good. The simple truths are what we need to lean on as when we grow as an adult. And I think we forget about those kind of truths sometimes, but we need to go back to them as a foundation because life is crazy as you become an adult. You have a job, you have payments and all that stuff. So I think he was trying to say that like we need to go back to our children's books because the children's books have basic ideas and basic ways how to live, how to be a human being, and how to be a loving and good person. And man, I love C.S. Lewis. I don't care. I love the Chronicles of Narnia. I think it's a fantastic series. And I love Harry Potter. I love Lord of the Rings. You can call me whatever. I don't like Twilight because I never read it and I watched the movies. Don't judge me. But I love C.S. Lewis and I love those books. And I think we are seeing it kind of play out right now, these foundational truths of where do truths come from? Where do we get our information from? Who do we look to when we want to find information? Who do we look to for truth? And I think that's like one of the most important questions that we should know and we should have answers to. If you don't know who you look to for truth or where you run to for truth, you're going to struggle throughout your entire life, and you're going to latch on to small things. You're going to latch on to weird different communities and just false doctrine, false ideologies. And that is a huge problem. Where do you go to for your truth? Where do you go to for your information? Is it a sound doctrine? Is it a sound place to run to for information, to run to for truth? Because if it's not, your life is going to feel empty a lot of the time. Because the more I watch the news, the more I look to the world, the more I look to what's going on, the more I use media as a way for a lens in which I see people, the worse it becomes. And I think we're like at a time in our lives where we need to figure out where we find our truth, where we look to for truth. Because it will define how we view the world, how we view each other, and how we view other races, other sexes, so much. And you can see kind of the fringe is kind of becoming more aggressive as we see in front of our eyes. And I think the general American public, the average person looks at the news, looks at what's going on in the world, and can kind of understand and kind of know how to view it, how to see it, how to internalize it, how to understand it. Because I believe in you, just like I believe in myself. I don't need a commentator to tell me how to view the Kyle Rittenhouse video that has been taken down on Facebook. And that was a question. I've seen that video so many times. I've watched all the video clips leading up to it. One guy pulled out a gun, and then Kyle Rittenhouse shot that guy in the arm. First of all, I don't know if you ever shot a gun. That is a very hard thing to do. And then the other guy looked like he was either going to kick him over the head or hit him over the head with a skateboard. It looked like one or the other, and Kyle shot that guy. And if you know anything about carrying, which I am a concealed carry, I have a concealed permit, just to be clear. I understand that when I feel like my life is being endangered, and I don't feel like I have the physical prowess or ability to stop that person, I'm allowed to shoot them. Because they are going to kill me if I don't kill them. Or they are going to kill somebody else. Like, I can't pull out a gun on a 95-year-old grandma or grandpa who's charging at me with a stroller. I can't do that because the court will be like, you can beat that person up. You work out, you can do it. So we are, and I feel like that kind of gives away my views about what happened, but I watched everything. And I don't think it's a bias or a way. I think it's just a way of, and yes, it's essentially bias, but there's also truth. And then there's things that are conjecture, just like, and when you watch a video and you see it happen, you think, you see the truth. And I think videos are the purest form of journalism. Uncut, unedited video. And that's becoming more and more rare. And Facebook is taking down that video because they're in charge of information. Just like Jeff Bezos. I mean, he's one of the richest man in the world. Bought a newspaper, Washington Post. Do you read that newspaper? Because I wouldn't. Why would you want a person that has that kind of money, that has that kind of power to be in charge of a newspaper? Why would you use that as a source? That's dumb. I just, not saying you're dumb if you use it, but I mean, I look to that source sometimes, but I mean, could you imagine, do you think he would say anything negative about his company or about himself or about his ex-wife or just like things that he cares about? Whatever his political beliefs are, his candidates. And speaking of candidates, what is going on? The media is showing, the media does not even care who you think they are anymore. They don't care. They are so upfront and in your face about, they are pulling for Joe Biden so much. They don't care anymore. They will not report obvious things that need to be reported, like Joe Biden today, the other day in Kenosha, not only meeting with Jacob Black's father, who is a self-proclaimed racist and doesn't care and puts it all over the internet to be down, and he's seen that as, and this person needs to have a microphone, and it's okay. It's okay to be racist if you look a certain way. Really? That's where we're at in society? That's okay by the media? That's okay by some people? You can't be racist if you look a certain way? Really? Because that is unbelievable to me. And sometimes I look at stuff of this and I just feel like I can't sit by on the sidelines anymore. I gotta just call it out. And then that also, when he was at that church, when Joe Biden was at the church, and then that lady said, Joe, I was given this piece of paper to ask you this question, but I can't do it. And the media didn't say anything about that. That is the most profound thing ever. And if you think he's going to debate Donald Trump on stage, you are out of your mind. I've been saying since COVID, this is going to be the easiest excuse for him not having a debate. Because there's no way he's getting on stage with Donald Trump, who just spoke for 70 minutes at his convention and is doing live rallies and is berated by the press. Like, I've never seen a president berated by the press like he is. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's fantastic. I believe everything he's doing. But I've never seen the press go after one person, manipulate somebody. I watch his speeches because if I don't, I know he's going to be manipulated and pulled out of context. And this whole thing about like the Atlantic, which you should do your research on the Atlantic and how it got started, because that is interesting. Anyways, maybe I'll do a whole segment about the Atlantic, and anonymous sources, like back to CNN's anonymous sources about Russiagate. And, we don't have to say who the sources are because, when you throw out allegations like that, maybe you should. And then today in the press conference, they were like, but what about, remember that time you were talking about John McCain? Okay. I feel like it's that Chris Farley skit. When he was talking to the Beatles, remember that time? And if you're getting offended by this, I apologize. But sometimes, like, I'm in the media so much throughout the week, and I'm trying to pull out little bits and pieces that are truth and not. and conjecture and just commentary, and it starts to break me down. It gets to the point where sometimes I just look at a website or social media and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. Obviously, they don't care about truth. The media does not care about truth. They will look at this bottle of Topo Chico and say, you know what? That's Coca-Cola. And you go, no, this is mineral water. This is definitely mineral water. Let me see. Yeah, that's mineral water. I can taste it. It tastes like mineral water. It says it. It's got a little twist of lime. No, that's Coke. No, this is definitely mineral water. I could see it. I just tasted it. I'm holding the bottle. I'm touching it. I can feel it. My brain is telling me it's real. I feel like it's real. I'm using a camera to double check. And the media looks at it and goes, no, that's definitely a Coke. And maybe you're just biased. Maybe you have institutional racism that you can't argue out of. And this whole idea, institutional racism, that is such a fun argument. Because if you look a certain way, you can't say anything. Like the whole idea, like maybe white people need to sit this one out. Really? Is that where we're at in society? That we need to subjugate people based on a race and say you are not allowed to speak on an issue? Because you know what that is? That's called racism. Oh, but we want to change the definition of racism? Okay, cool. Because I feel like I know what racism is, but I feel like the more certain people are in charge of media, definitions, entertainment, they like to change definitions in order for it to say what they wanted to say. And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to watch, and those who agree with it, I don't understand. Where do you get off? What? How do you look at that, and how do you look at an orange and call it an apple? Okay, it's like right now, all throughout the media, all week long, I read about how the riots are Donald Trump's fault, and this is the result of a Donald Trump America. If you believe that, you don't understand how government works, how local government works especially. You need to do some research because you need to fixate on your local government more than the president because they have more power over your life. There's like this weird looking for a king kind of mentality or like a celebrity president in order for him to go on like Jimmy Kimmel and, Jimmy Fallon and go on SNL and just be beloved and the media to just adore him and ask easy questions. And there's like this weird mentality when we should be just focused on our local government because they have power over our lives. Obviously, you're seeing that play in effect like the salon owner in San Francisco who is like, you know what? You made me do this way. I'm losing my business. I've lost all these people. And, these people are not being able to eat anymore. Here's a little video of you not wearing a mask and being by yourself in a salon, taking full advantage. How's that feel? Because the average person around you is suffering. It's always the people who aren't suffering, like these rich white liberals who are just telling you about how they need to change. And I'm just like, well, maybe you're the racist because I'm not racist. I don't care what color you are, what ethnicity you are, what culture you're from. I don't care. I only care, are you a nice person? Are you not a nice person? If you're not a nice person, I might treat you a different way. But if you are a nice person, let's hang out. I don't care. You like a different band than me. You like different food than me. You speak to your mother in a different way. You say different words than me. Great. I don't care. There's people that want to push us apart right now, and I want to fight for unity, and it's ridiculous. I want to see everyone as equal. I want to see everyone as the same and human and not different. Why is that a radical idea? Why do I feel so strange saying that out loud? Why do I feel like I'm going to lose listeners if I say you're the same as me? You should be treated the same as me. You should get the fair shake at life the same as me. I am not rich. I'm not telling you that you have a problem. Anyone that tells you that you have a problem needs to turn and look at a mirror themselves. It's like Jesus said, take the plank at your own eye. You got more problems. You need to fix on your problems more than other people's problems. Oh my gosh. That was a little rant. I indubitably apologize. I don't think... I've seen more on social media where people are saying that you need to pick a side in today's world, that there's allies, and then there's patriots, there's people who believe this certain way, and the side I'm picking on is unity. The side I'm picking on is, that might be, the side I'm picking on is like treating people with respect, loving people, giving people empathy and sympathy, and laying down my life for others, especially those that are weaker than me, if they need my help. I like kids. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna fight for that. I'm gonna fight for the good in people. I'm going to fight for loving people well. I'm going to fight for seeing people as equal to me. I'm going to fight for not assuming I'm something because somebody looks a certain way, whether they're white or black. Why is it always a white or black issue too? I'm tired. I'm tired of being told because I'm a white male, I have these things I need to get over when I've never felt racist. I've subjugated people based on race. I've never thought like, wow, that person looks that way, so they're probably dumb, or they're probably stupid, or they're probably going to rob me, or they're probably going to do this. Fight for that. I just feel like fight for normalcy, fight for truth, fight for honesty, fight for realness, empathy, love, being there for people. I want to fight for that. I don't care anymore. I'm not picking a side. I'm picking human. And yes, because I'm a Christian, I have these foundational truths in which I live out, in which I see the world, and maybe that's why I said I want to lay my life down for my brother, my sister, those around me, those who look different than me, those who are less fortunate than me, those who need help, those who maybe look like they have their life put together. That's what I'm rooting for in life, and I hope you do too. I hope you continue to love people and not join in on the fringe to bear up arms. I mean, we just saw that Trump supporter get executed in the street, and the media act like, that's all right. That's not all right. I don't care who you support. That's not okay. And unfortunately, it's happening on one side or the other, and unfortunately, the media is more biased on one side than the other. So it's if a white person shoots a black person, it's all over the internet. And it's a white dude shoots African American point blank range. Black person shoots like that black kid who shot the mother and father today, who were going to buy a new SUV, and he robbed them, then shot them, and they have freaking 5 kids. And that would barely had a peep. There was no racism. It was just some psycho kid who shot these parents. And that's how it should be. Just quit pushing this stupid... There is racists in the world. Absolutely. Are there billions of racists? No. You would see that. And... all my liberal friends... I just saw one of my liberal friends... he posted a picture of ISIS Tacoma trucks driving down, and then he posted a picture of Trump supporting trucks with flags, and he said, I don't see the difference. Really? You don't see the difference? Because one was executing gays, women, people of color, white people, military, Americans, subjugating women, sexually abusing, raping people. You don't see the difference. There's no difference there, really. Where do you get your truth? Who do you run to for your truth? May I recommend the 1 Minute News as a good source or a decent source? But also remember, I use all those like 25 sources every morning. Sometimes those are wrong. Sometimes news changes. And just know that can happen. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 1 Minute News. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I got a little passionate today. Thank you for riding with me, my ride or diers. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I honestly do. My downloads are going up, and I'm just so thankful for you guys. Please keep sharing the 1 Minute News. Tell people about it. Let people know what's going on. Love you guys. Have a fantastic Friday. I'll see you tomorrow morning for another edition of the 1 Minute News.